Welcome, everybody. The picks are in. We got a great show for you guys tonight. We got a few games left in the playoff series, and we're getting down to the state championships. Make sure you stay tuned. We are NCRA Sports Network.
High school sports brought to you live on the NCRA Sports Network by going to www.ncrasportsnetwork.com, click Florida Broadcast, and you can watch it live. Or, if you'd rather watch the game later, click Broadcast Archive and watch any of our live events that have been posted throughout the season. This is the NCRA Sports Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Glad you guys could join us tonight. I'm Glenn Stout. This is Damien Hunt and Coach DC, and we are the NCRA Sports Network coming live from the Coral Springs Brews Room. We got a great show for you guys tonight. Playoffs are in full swing. We're getting into some state championship games. How's it going, coaches?
Doing good, man. I'm having a great time, having a good time at these games. Excited about a lot of the athletes that are getting ready to go off to college and getting ready for state championship. It's a beautiful time here in Florida.
Oh, it's great right now. It's great. You know, all the pretenders are going home and the contenders are still there.
Picks are getting a little bit tougher now. We're getting farther into the playoffs. So hopefully you guys stay tuned with us off NCRASportsNetwork.com. Those of you checking us out on Facebook. Those of you watching our live broadcasts on Friday nights. As a matter of fact, this past Friday night, we covered a game, Boyd Anderson versus St. Thomas Aquinas. It was a big game for BA, a big game for St. Thomas. St. Thomas ended up winning that game 38-24. Some thoughts on the game, Damien?
It was very high impact throughout the entire game. I can't say exactly how proud I was of that game with Boyd Anderson giving St. Thomas fits. St. Thomas coming back and retaliating to allow the speed of Boyd Anderson. You had, coaches going ballistic. You have kids having fun. At the end, St. Thomas pulled it off with a 14-point lead to end the game. But I'll tell you one thing. St. Thomas knew that they were in a dogfight against those Cobras.
It seemed that St. Thomas really tried to control the ball, play their tempo. A lot of rushing yards I saw from the game. What was your opinion on how the game turned out, DC?
I thought they had a great game plan. St. Thomas, that is. They could not match up with Boyd Anderson's athletic ability. Jackson they couldn't cover.
Wow.
So, as the coach Rocco over at St. Thomas, he figured that out early on. And he figured the only way we're going to stop these people is keep that kid on the defensive side of the ball. Kind of like RG3 and the Giants. The Giants had a lot of long drives. You can't stop RG3 right now.
Yeah.
So the way you stop him is keep him on the sideline. And that's what they did to Boyd Anderson's big play players.
I think it said that St. Thomas had 52 rushes for 273 yards. Now, if that's not pounding the rock, I don't know what is. But it actually seems Boyd Anderson scored 17 points in the second half. What turned the game around, you think, Coach?
Well, as far as St. Thomas they did a good job after the halftime. Coach Rocco over there at St. Thomas did a great job in making sure that they come back, and they had to tweak some things on offense and defense. Offensively, they had to attack Boyd Anderson's edge. They had to go against Darrell Young, and try to run away from him, and basically just try their best to try to get into the middle of the defense of Boyd Anderson, and they actually just tried their best to try to stop Jackson as best as could. And what Coach DC was absolutely correct. The best way is a great defense is keeping them off the offense, and that's exactly what they did.
Seemed like there was a lot of penalties also in the game. Might have been I heard it was very physical. From what I saw on the tape, it was a very physical game, back and forth. Like you said, that the specialty players on BA, they were pretty much, I heard you were saying, almost unguardable at certain points. What does St. Thomas have to do in this game in order to grind it out and beat a team like BA that was, well, maybe you would say hot? They got hot early on in the playoffs. They believed in themselves. Like we had spoken before the game, we thought that this game could have gone either way, and the breaks had just went to St. Thomas. What do you think were some of the contributing factors? What does St. Thomas have to do to get that W?
The W against Mantee?
Against Boyd Anderson.
Well, what they did to get the W was they controlled the ball. When you run for almost 300 yards, you're controlling the tempo of the game. Boyd Anderson made big plays. They were a big play, fast strike offense. They were on the field. They went 98 yards in about 1:55
Wow.
for a touchdown. And then another one, they went about 80 yards in 53 seconds.
My goodness.
So the thing is, St. Thomas knew they couldn't keep matching up to that. So what they did was they slowed the game down, and they decided to pound the rock. And pound the rock they did in the tone of almost 300 yards on the ground.
Like they say in the movie, Remember the Titans, just like Novocaine, give it time, it always works, right, Coach?
And that's exactly what it did. You're talking about a three-headed monster at St. Thomas. They had Carpet, they had London, they had a sophomore who was a powerful young kid, and quick, and Sands. So you had, three real big running backs doing the job. And defensively, St. Thomas had the little brother of Joey Bosa, the Ohio State commit. I mean, sincerely, you're talking about the young man. I mean, he was a freshman, 6'4", 240-pound freshman who was wreaking havoc on Greg Hankerson.
Wow.
And and those penalties you were talking about, there they were. You're talking about Boyd Anderson taking 15 yards back to try to gain 20 yards ahead, and it caught him at the end.
It caught him at the end, yeah. We want to congratulate Boyd Anderson on a great regular season.
Absolutely.
Tip the hats to them. We followed them all throughout the season. This isn't the end for a lot of those kids. They're going off to college, play some college ball. But we fully expect them to make a bounce back for next season. And the final score of that game was 38-24. And we expect St. Thomas to play tough against Manatee this Friday night, which will be live. We will be recording the St. Thomas game. And Manatee's coming to town. #1 team in the country. So we fully expect that to be a great game. We hope you guys catch it. That is this Friday night. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show so far. We are NCRASportsNetwork.com. We are going to a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to break down some of the rest of these playoff games. Stay tuned.
High school sports brought to you live on the NCRA Sports Network by going to www.ncrasportsnetwork.com. Click.
Come on down to Brews Room. Great taste is just the beginning. First thing that you'll notice, this is your kind of place. When you sit back and relax, you're gonna love the taste. Good times don't go to waste. You found the right place. Come on down to Brews Room. Great taste is just the beginning.
HSPN Sports and the NCRA Sports Network is brought to you by Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation. The Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit youth organization that specializes in empowering communities and providing opportunities for academic athletic growth. At KDA, we address vital issues concerning transitional phases of primary and secondary education through sports and academic advisory camps, health and wellness programs, and athletic scholarships, grants, and aid. We welcome you to visit our website, www.kdafoundation.org. At Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation, we believe that if you change one life, you can change a generation.
Welcome back, everybody. We are NCRA Sports Network. This is Damien Hunt, Coach DC, and we are covering the best sport in the world, high school football, playoffs, getting into the state championship. We just broke down the St. Thomas BA game, and we're going to get into some of the meat of the playoffs. These teams aren't in the state championship yet. They're in the game right before the state championship. So this is when it comes down. This hits the pavement. We got to get a game going. Absolutely. We're going to go to our first game, which is 8A. Columbus 9-4 versus Cypress Bay. This is a big game. We covered Cypress Bay. We've covered Columbus. Columbus played St. Thomas early on in the season. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. I say Cypress Bay rolls. I think Columbus has a great team. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think Cypress Bay is disciplined. They keep it in between the tackles, and on the offensive defensive side of the ball, at the line of scrimmage, they're the stronger team. So I'm going to go with Cypress Bay. What do you think, Damien?
I'm also going to go with Cypress Bay. Coach Guandolo over there is doing a phenomenal job with those young men. They're disciplined from whistle to whistle, and I really see them doing a phenomenal job. This is one of the few times you're going to actually see me actually choose a Broward team over a Dade County team, and I think that Cypress Bay is going to actually really pull it off and win it, maybe a close game. That's what I think. DC?
I am still on the fence. I love Cypress Bay. I love their program. I think Guandolo's done a great job over there. I love the Columbus program. They started, they have 4 losses. But you look at who they lost to. You know, you got to look at, you know, the body of work that they've done. They lost to Manatee. Who else did they lose to Columbus?
Which a lot of people lose to Manatee.
Yeah, but that don't count. They also lost to Killian. They lost to St. Thomas. So, you know, you look at the body of work. I don't know if St. Thomas has played that quality of opponent. So I'm not real sure. But anytime I'm not sure, I go 305. So there I am. You got my pick. I'm taking Columbus in an upset. And I actually picked St. Thomas to win. I mean, Cypress Bay to win it all. Wow.
You heard it here, Coach DC. He's the 305 boy to the day he dies. If he's not sure with the game, you know he's going to stick with his heart. He's going to bring it to the 305. As a matter of fact, I took against Columbus last week against Killian because I thought that Killian over the head-to-head with the regular season, and Columbus proved me wrong. So hopefully for Columbus's sake, they can prove me wrong again, but I'm going to stick with Cypress Bay.
But, Coach, right there, both of these schools are trying to get into their first state championship game.
Wow.
Columbus hasn't been able to get there because they were in 6A, and they had to go through Northwestern and Central, and that wasn't happening. Now they're in 8A, and I believe last year Miramar was able to knock them out. Now they have a shot again. They're there every year. Is when are they going to finally get over that hump? Can they get over it with Cypress Bay?
And I say no because it's Broward. Continue.
All righty, we're going to move it down. Still in 8A, Orlando Dr. Phillips 13-0 versus Apopka 10-2. I went with Orlando Dr. Phillips last week. As we spoke earlier on, they reminded me of a team that had a few Gators on the team, Demps, Rainey. They remind me of that Lakeland team back in 07-08. And I think they're dangerous. I've been riding with Orlando for a while, so I'm going to stick with Dr. Phillips over Apopka, and I think it's going to be a great game.
Apopka used to be a very powerful team. They used to have Fred Sanders. They used to have a great deal of athletes. But as of lately, Orlando has been producing stallions. They've actually been producing some studs out there. So that's why I'm choosing Orlando, because of the thing is they are always going to have skill players, and they definitely got powerful defensive linemen. And I don't see Apopka running against that defense. So I'm going with Orlando, Dr. Phillips.
Well, Dr. Phillips, for both of you, huh? Dr. Phillips may need the doctor at the end of this game. They may need that first part of their name, the doctor, because Apopka is a very good football team. They're not here by, they weren't voted in. They earned the right to be here. So I think they have just as good a shot. Dr. Phillips, I don't know if they've kind of blown their wad, but they're still in it. They're playing well. But I'm going to take Apopka in an upset.
Coach DC always knows how to throw a wrench in that, huh?
He does, and he always calls these upset. Somebody's going to be upset with DC.
All right, we're going to move it down to 7A. The big game. Everybody's ready to talk about it. Bradenton Manatee 13-1 versus St. Thomas 11-2. Manatee, the #1 team in the country, not the state, the country. Everybody's looking to see what they can do, see if they can win that #1 title, national champs. That's what everybody wants to see happen. Against St. Thomas, everybody knows what St. Thomas can do. Everybody knows St. Thomas around here in South Florida, they're a powerhouse. Everybody fully expects them to get far. Everybody expects them to at least make it to the state championship, let alone win it. I mean, big names, Chris Carter, people involved. We've been talking about this for a while, guys. St. Thomas doesn't always look like the same St. Thomas that's been around. Don't get me wrong, they have great athletes, great players on the field. I just feel that football in general in this area, Broward, Dade County, everything's gotten better.
Yeah.
And I feel that teams are starting to realize teams aren't as scared of them anymore as they used to be. The name St. Thomas, it's not that they're not a good football team, it's that teams aren't afraid to lose to them anymore. And that's my personal opinion. I'm going to say Manatee's going to beat St. Thomas because after watching Boyd Anderson game, after watching some clips, BA had the athletes to beat them. They couldn't get over the hump. And I think that just takes time. St. Thomas has been there before. They didn't get nervous. They knew that they had plenty of time to win this game, and they just went with their game plan. BA played with a lot of emotion, and sometimes that can hurt you in a game. And I think Manatee's going to come into town, and I think that it's going to be a great game. I think St. Thomas is going to be able to stick with them for a while, but I think Manatee's just going to pull it out.
I can't fault you for anything that you said. I'm going also with Bradenton Manatee. for the main reason, not just because they're #1 in the country. That's easy to go with. I'm going with Bradenton Manatee mainly because the truth of the matter is St. Thomas had a hard time with Boyd Anderson. And the only reason that Boyd Anderson, I felt, could not get over the hump is because they didn't have the endurance and they didn't have some of the other athletes surrounding them. They had a Darrell Young, but guess what? Manatee has a Darrell Young on each side and in the middle and playing safety and playing cornerback. So, and I'm looking at, you know, the hard time that St. Thomas's second had with Boyd Anderson, one Mr. Action Jackson, and he lit them up for over 200 yards. It was actually over 300 yards all-purpose. And you're talking about just athletes upon athletes. And I'm sorry, like you said, nobody fears St. Thomas anymore. And they feel that, I think that also that Manatee would come in and actually just try to punch St. Thomas in the mouth real early.
Kind of like what St. Thomas has been doing to other teams for the last 10 years. They just punch people in the mouth.
I think Manatee right now, they want to be the bullies right now. Yeah. And so right now, Manatee wants to be the bully. They've been bullying a lot of people. I mean, Dade County, Palm Beach County, throughout the nation. So they've been bullying a lot of people, and I'm sorry, you know, and we're going to cover that game at St. Thomas. We're going to be in their box. They treat us well. Red carpet all the way. Undoubtedly,
we appreciate the Raiders, that's for sure.
We definitely appreciate the Raiders, but the red carpet is going to be the blood of St. Thomas. And I'm sorry, the Manatees are coming in, and they're going to do just what their name says. It's going to be a hurricane, a slobber knocker.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach, as we say, that's why they play the games.
Absolutely.
However, with that being said, Manatee is a dynamite football team, and I respect them. I think the difference between St. Thomas of years gone and St. Thomas of today, St. Thomas really hasn't. I don't think they respected Boyd Anderson that much, and Boyd Anderson brought it to them, and they gained that respect. They earned it right there on the field. I think Manatee has earned that respect coming in, so you can look for St. Thomas to be on their A game right away. They know they're going to have to pound the rock. They know they're going to have to do the things that they've not done all year to upset the Hurricanes of Manatee. So, with that being said, a little home field cooking, a little home cooking, I think St. Thomas could edge them out. 24-23. St. Thomas in an upset.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. I think DC is on something. I don't see that happening. I have to disagree with DC. That's his opinion, but his opinion is wrong. Next.
And he went for a Broward team. I'm shocked.
He did. I know. This is unheard of. I'm like, what is wrong? I think he's a little sick, ladies and gentlemen out there.
A little bit under the weather, but not that far. But as I say, St. Thomas, I mean, no matter how bad they play, they find out ways to win. They found out a way to beat Columbus. They found out a way to beat Boyd Anderson. Are they killing people? No, they're not. But they're winning ball games. And Manatee's doing the same thing. But Manatee, I mean, they're powerful. I cannot knock that. I wouldn't say that at any range. They're powerful. They're dominant. But, you know, like I said before,
any given
the
Friday,
mighty has fallen before. Any given Friday night.
Just like Coach DC said. And just make sure you guys check us out. We will be broadcasting that game, NCRASportsNetwork.com, HSPNSports.com. That will be live, Manatee versus St. Thomas with Coach DC, DAMIEN Hunt, and my father, Glenn Stout. And they will be covering that game live. Make sure you guys check it out. It's going to be a great game. We're going to move it down. Osceola, Kissimmee, 13-0 versus Tallahassee Lincoln, 11-1. I'm going to go with Osceola. I think they got the horses to do it. As I said before, I picked Manatee to go all the way to the championship. I don't see Osceola getting past Manatee, and I just think that Tallahassee doesn't have the talent in order to keep up with Osceola.
I have to disagree with you. I'm going with Tally-Ho all the way for the main reason. They're next to Florida State, and that's my favorite school. Second reason is that also, to be honest with you, they produce some of the top-notch athletes in the nation. You got athletes at the University of Georgia, South Carolina, a lot of the SEC teams. But I'm also choosing it because the coach that they have at Tallahassee Lincoln has been there for a number of years, and he actually knows the game of football. Not to mention, Kissimmee is a little bit too close to Orlando. I can't choose two Orlando teams, but I will choose a Tallahassee team. So Lincoln, here we go.
Well, Coach, with that being said, I'm going to go to Disney World. I'm going to Disney. I'm going to Kissimmee. I'm going to take the Orlando team. They're undefeated. They're doing something that school has never seen before. Lincoln's going to try to come in, and they're playing at home. So I'm taking the Orlando team.
And we got to try and catch up with you, so we got to pick opposite teams. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show so far. NCRASportsNetwork.com. We're coming live from the Coral Springs Brews Room. We hope you guys have enjoyed it. We know there's a lot of people here showing us support, and we appreciate them. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap up the rest of these playoff games, and then we're going to head to some of the championship games. Stay tuned.
High school sports brought to you live on the NCRA Sports Network by going to www.ncrasportsnetwork.com, click Florida Broadcast, and you can watch it live. Or, if you'd rather watch the game later, click Broadcast Archive and watch any of our live events that have been posted throughout the season. This is the NCRA Sports Network.
You're watching the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 sports network in the nation, covering high school sports. NCRA Sports Network.
Come on down to Brews Room. Great taste is just the beginning. First thing that you'll notice, this is your kind of place. When you sit back and relax, you're gonna love the taste. Good times don't go to waste. You found the right place. Come on down to Brews Room. Great taste is just the beginning.
There are over 1,800 colleges and universities in the nation. There are over 10 million high school student athletes that graduate each year. Only 0.08% of these student athletes that graduate receive full scholarships.
We're here, we got your back.
And you can go back and get your college degree and come back and help us, man.
It all started with a dream. And now it's up to us to keep it alive.
If you're sitting out there and you're wondering, you have to start there.
Education comes first, and you know what the future holds.
Gave me a better opportunity to make it in life. Live your dreams.
How far are you willing to go?
At Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation, we believe that if you change one life, you can change a generation.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Glenn Stout. This is Damien Hunt, Coach DC, and we are NCRA Sports Network coming live from the beautiful Coral Springs Brews Room. We want to thank them for having us tonight. We've gone over a few games from 8A and 7A. We're going to move it down to 6A now. A little hometown cooking for Coach DC. Miami Central 10-2 versus Naples 13-0. Naples is undefeated. Naples is a powerhouse on the West Coast. I've been riding Naples this whole entire way. Miami Central's 10-2. They lost a game. I'm not sure who did they lose their game to.
They lost to Grayson, Georgia, the number one team in the nation. In the HSPN, and they also lost to Bradenton Manatee, the number one team currently in the nation.
There you go. 2 top teams in the entire country. But personally, we've seen Miami Central. Coach DC's introduced us to the world of Miami Central, and he's got me convinced. Cook and Yarby, those are the 2 Heisman runners of the high school league. I'm going with Miami Central over Naples.
Coach, you said it first, doing some hometown cooking. You said that was it. And with Dalvin Cook and Joseph Yarby, I mean, I'm telling you right now, you're talking about 2 microwaves. We're not talking about crock pots here. We're talking about some grown men and young men bodies. So I'm going Central all day long.
Well, I'm not on the fence this time, Coach. I'm definitely going 305. I think Naples is a very well-coached football team. They're sound on offense. They're sound on defense. They beat 3 Dade County schools this year. They were able to beat North Miami Beach. They were able to beat North Miami, and they were able to beat Hialeah during the Kickoff Classic. But this is a different animal. This is a totally different animal than any of those 3 that they've seen this year. Miami Central is something special. You know, when you only lose to 2 teams that are both number 1 in the USA, hey, that says something. Give me Central. I know that, you know, not putting it out there just to let you guys know, just don't make calls that aren't there, because Naples is known for that. So they're known for that. So we want to see a fair game. Let the guys play. and we'll see who comes out on top. But I'm taking Central.
Absolutely. 3 across the board. Central's a tough team to play. We've seen what they can do on the field. We fully expect a great game, and we fully expect that will be a great game. We hope Miami Central pulls it out. Naples is going to be a tough game, though. Going to move it down. Navarre 12-1 versus Gainesville 13-0. I was the only one that went with Gainesville last week. Undefeated. I'm sticking with them. I hope you guys go the other way so I can get some wins.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna upset you, and I'm gonna go with Gainesville. I like what they're doing over there. I went against them last week, but I think Gainesville is going to pull it off in a close game.
Well, I've been upset all night. I'm staying with it. Upset, Navarre. They're playing at home.
All righty, we're going to move it down to 5A. Miami Jackson 9-4 versus Immokalee 10-3. Coach, you changed my opinion on this game. Miami Jackson impressed me a lot. Immokalee, I went with the Muck already once, and they upset me. So I'm going to go with Miami Jackson over Immokalee.
I'm going Jackson as well. I'm going 305 for the main reason Jackson finds ways to win. And I like the way that Jackson is playing right now. So I'd rather go with Miami Jackson because they're squeaking out wins against very tough opponents.
Yeah, Coach, I'm going with Miami Jackson. I've been with them from the beginning. I've been on that upset train from the beginning. And I said I'm going to ride them to the train, ride it right into the tracks. I think Jackson should be to get another state championship shot this year.
All right, we're going to keep it in 5A. We're going to Tampa Robinson 12-1 versus Tallahassee Goodby 12-1. I didn't know much about these two teams as they are farther up in the state, but after seeing some of the stats and seeing them some of the players on their highlights and stuff like that, I'm going to stick with Tampa with the upset over Tallahassee.
I am going with Tallahassee, and mainly because of the speed. I've seen some clips on Tallahassee, and I like what they're doing up there, with Lincoln and this team as well. So I'm going Tallahassee.
Well, I like Tallahassee Godby, but I'm taking Robinson on this one. Like I said last week, Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. I'm staying in the neighborhood. They're coming to his neighborhood again. So give me Robinson.
All right, guys. Well, that's the semifinals for 8A, 7A, 6A, and 5A. I hope you guys have enjoyed the picks so far. Me and DC got a little bit more room to work with Coach Damien. And we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to break down the state championship games in 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A. Stay tuned.
Come on down to Bruce Room. Great taste is just the beginning. First thing that you'll notice, this is your kind of place. When you sit back and relax, you're gonna love the taste. Good times don't go to waste. You found the right place. Come on down to Bruce Room. Great taste is just the beginning.
You're watching the NCRA Sports Network, the #1 sports network in the nation, covering high school sports. NCRA Sports Network.
High school sports brought to you live on the NCRA Sports Network by going to www.ncrasportsnetwork.com, click Florida Broadcast, and you can watch it live. Or, if you'd rather watch the game later, click Broadcast Archive and watch any of our live events that have been posted throughout the season. This is the NCRA Sports Network.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Glenn Stout. This is the rest of the gang, NCRA Sports Network, coming live from the Coral Springs Brews Room. We've had a great show so far tonight. We got to cover the BA St. Thomas game, a few of the semifinal games, and now we're going to move down to the state championship. Coach DC has a little bit of an announcement to make for those people at home.
I'm definitely going to be with the Miami Central Rockets tonight. Well, tonight and Friday night. Go out there and bring it home. And Betty Cook, just want to give you a shout out. Thanks for joining our network, and we're going to follow you and Davin right along the way, and I hope to see you guys in Orlando.
And also a little bit of a heads up, NCRASportsNetwork.com. Hopefully you guys check us out. We possibly might be up in Orlando for the University School Madison County State Championship game, and later on in the day, the Booker T. Washington Jacksonville Bulls game. So we're just waiting to hear from the FHSAA. If we hear back from them, we'll let you guys know we're a go, and you can watch those state championship games live on NCRASportsNetwork.com and HSPNSports.com. So we're going to take it down to the 4A state championship. Booker T. Washington out of the 305, 12-1 versus Jacksonville Bulls, the powerhouse up in the north, 12-1. Booker T. Washington just been running through opponents all season. We covered them in the 12-on-20 tour. We have a lot of ties down there, and Coach Ice and Ben Hanks, one of the founders of Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation, and we know what Booker T. has to offer. They had to stumble early on in the season against the Rockets, Miami Central. That was a 37-26 loss, and we actually covered that game. And, I mean, that's just two 305 teams going at it at the best. But other than that, I mean, I see blowout wins all throughout the season. 68-13 over Orlando, 53-0 over Edison, 39-0 over Jackson, 71-14 over Doral. So, needless to say, I'm going with Booker T. Washington. You have to show me that Jacksonville's got to have to come to town and show me that they can take it from Booker T. Washington, because right now I think Booker T. Washington's playing great football.
This is one of those games. I truly believe that Jacksonville should be allowed to have 12 men on the field. And that still probably won't be enough with the speed of Booker T. I'm going Booker T. Washington all day.
Well, before we kind of write off Jacksonville, Jacksonville is the team that beat Booker T. last year in the state championship.
Yes, sir.
So Booker T. did have the game won. A punt, a special teams mistake cost them the ball game. But don't look for it to come down to a special teams mistake this year. Booker T., I'm giving Booker T. probably 42-14. I think Booker T. will take him out of the water.
And you don't think that they're thinking about that play all year long? Rolling through all
kept
these
them
teams?
Hungry all year. They've been on this mission.
Coach Ice will definitely keep them under mine. And definitely, Jacksonville Bulls, they're a great team. I mean, state champions. We fully expect them to show up. This is a state championship game. We're not talking about semifinal. We're talking about state championship. They're going to show up. They've won a bunch of them. They know how to win them. I'm just going with Booker T.
Yeah, they're going to show up, Coach, but they're going to be a little short this week.
All right, we're going to move it down to 3A. The U. I know you don't like when I call it that.
No, I don't.
The U, University School of Davie, 11-0 versus Madison County, 12-1. I've been riding with University School since the 12-on-20 tour. University School, I mean, they got some of the best athletes coming into that school. The facilities they get to use, I mean, you'd forget that they were over there with the Miami Dolphins. You get them mixed up with some of those players. They're pretty big. I'm going with University School with a win, state championship. What do you think?
Miami Dolphins too. It's all about University School. I'm actually going with University School as well, mainly because I love what Coach H is doing over there at University School, and not to mention they actually got past the hurdle that beat them last year, and that was American Heritage Delray, and they beat them. And they came back, you know, and they played them physically, and they beat them physically as well. So now that they got that obstacle out of the way, I don't see anything stopping this train. So University School.
I'm also taking University School because I just think they may be the best team in the country, not Manatee. They may be the best team in the country is what I'm seeing. But just to get off track for a second here and straighten Coach DAMIEN Hunt next to me. Coach DAMIEN Hunt, they're over there by the Dolphin. But I told you that the Dolphin would give New England fits. And you didn't want to take that. But the Dolphin were a couple calls away from winning that ball game.
Miami Dolphins who? Okay, go ahead.
All right. We're going to move it down to 2A. Miami-Dade Christian 13-0 versus Jacksonville University Christian 12-1. As I've said all throughout the year, Dade Christian is doing some special things down there. Being a small school, a small Christian school, in a talent-rich environment like Dade County. Great education. Great to get those kids in the school, but it's really tough when they're competing against big-name programs, Central, Northwestern, stuff like that. Kids want to play for the big names, and we don't blame them for that, but they got great education. This team's playing the state championships too, so maybe that'll make a few kids down there think next. When Dade Christian comes away, I'm saying they're going to win a state championship over Jacksonville University Christian. Hopefully they can keep those athletes coming in there, spread it out around the 305.
I like Dade Christian as well. They stopped one of the top running backs in the state of Florida and Taylor at Glades Day. That is phenomenal. And they held that team down. You know, they pretty much submerged them with their stats. So I'm going with Dade Christian all day.
Well, Coach, I'm going to take Dade Christian also, but this game is probably the most evenly matched game in the state championship thus far. Both of these teams are loaded. Both of these teams are powerhouses. Both of these teams knocked off great football teams to earn this opportunity. So this is going to be something really special. The winner, hey, God bless you. It's going to be tough.
All right, we're going to take it down to 1A. Trenton 13-0 versus Northview Brat 10-3. I want to apologize first to Coach DC. I know earlier on I said I was going to go with Northview, but I realized after looking at the standings, I got to make up some room on Damien if I'm going to try and catch him by the state championship game. He's got a few games ahead of me. I know he's going with Trenton, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Northview over Trenton.
No, that's not correct. My man Damien Hunt said he's going with Brat.
He's going with Brat?
Northview.
Oh, my goodness. Now I'm going to have to jump to the other team then.
That's fine. Hey, listen, TV Land, NCRA Sports, it's me against the world. Okay? I'm coming home with the chip. That's all you got to know. So it's Northview all day, every day. Why? Because Damien Hunt chose you. You better win. Don't come out to make me out to be a liar. all my picks, you need to win. I need to come out with a chip.
Well, Coach, I'm going with Trenton 13-0. And while you're looking at Northview, get a view of the North because Trenton's bringing it back.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. Those are the 4 games for the state championship, 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A. They're going to be great games. We look forward to seeing what goes on in Orlando. Remember, we're going to let you all know. We're just waiting on confirmation from the FHSAA that we will be allowed to broadcast the University versus Madison County game and the Booker T. Washington versus Jacksonville Bulls game. Hopefully, Coach Damien will be able to make it up there, and it'll be a great game.
Book it. I'll be there.
We know Coach DC is going to be there. Wherever there's football going on, it doesn't matter where it's going on in the state. You will find Coach DC somewhere around high school games. We hope you guys enjoyed the show so far tonight. Coral Springs Brews Room, we want to thank them for having us here. Playoffs are obviously getting to wrap up. We're getting through to the state championship games. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. Remember, we got some big games this Friday. We got St. Thomas versus Manatee. Make sure you guys check that out. NCRASportsNetwork.com. I'm Glenn Stout. This is Damien Hunt, Coach DC. We enjoyed our time here. Check us out on Friday night. We are NCRA Sports Network.
High school sports brought to you live on the NCRA Sports Network by going to www.ncrasportsnetwork.com, click Florida Broadcast, and you can watch it live. Or, if you'd rather watch the game later, click Broadcast Archive and watch any of our live events that have been posted throughout the season. This is the NCRA Sports Network.
Come on down to Brews Room. Great taste is just the beginning. First thing that you'll notice, this is your kind of place. When you sit back and relax, you're gonna love the taste. Good times don't go to waste. You found the right place. Come on down to Brews Room. Great taste is just the beginning.
HSPN Sports and the NCRA Sports Network is brought to you by Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation. The Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit youth organization that specializes in empowering communities and providing opportunities for academic, athletic growth. At KDA, we address vital issues concerning transitional phases of primary and secondary education through sports and academic advisory camps, health and wellness programs, and athletic scholarships, grants, and aid. We welcome you to visit our website, www.kdafoundation.org. At Keeping Dreams Alive Foundation, we believe that if you change one life, you can change a generation.